Hello and welcome to Guitar Heresy. This is Mark here with my Monday Musings. In the week that's just passed, actually I seem to have done a lot more fiddling with videos than I have actually building guitars. That's partly because my energy level's still been quite low. I kind of not doing brilliant health-wise, so that's improved a little bit. But partly because I've almost got this kind of chunk of stuff that I want to put out of what's happened almost before the channel started. So in the last week I kind of filmed me looking at that very first bass build that I did, and actually edited that up, put that out, and filmed and recorded me kind of just playing a song with it and putting that out to go with it. Brilliant. I've still got 3 more projects that I did before setting up the workshop or any of that sort of stuff happened, which will be, really useful to put out. If it's within the field of view, this guitar here is actually project 2. It's the second one that I started. Actually, because my third project was much simpler, I finished my third project before I finished this one. But I've decided to do them in order of when I started the projects rather than when I finished them. Because with any new projects, I'm going to start talking about them when I start doing them. And actually, it's difficult to know which ones may present more challenges than others. So as far as that goes, with this headless 5-string bass, I filmed and edited up. I'll probably upload it today as well, actually. A kind of an update of where I'm at with this project. And I've put all of the videos and photos together that I've taken of this other project, which I've mentioned, but I haven't actually put out any videos directly about this yet. This is project 6. This is a kind of engraved bodied, resin filled engraved bodied guitar. As you can see from that one over there, I kind of quite got into using resin when I did that, kind of almost inspired by the river table kind of idea, and you obviously see that in some guitars as well. And it was again the sort of project that, having done that first one and found that I could build a guitar, I was thinking that's gorgeous, and all of the guitars that are done like that I couldn't afford to own, so it was another good one to actually take an opportunity to create something. Anyway, coming back to here, so I'll put together a video really covering up to where I'm at now. I have to say though, after doing that video of that first bass build that I did, I think for longer form videos the idea of covering a whole build in one video actually works better. So I think after I've caught up to where I'm at now, what I'm planning to do is to put out just shorts of the different bits that I do, like kind of on my Facebook I kind of put out a couple of photos of just when I'd routed the neck pockets and I was pleased that they fitted so nicely, that sort of thing. In that sort of spirit, actually just covering different bits. The next thing I'm doing with this one is doing some binding on it. I think a short will cover that really nicely. So actually with those bits, I think what I'll do is cover those in shorts and then actually do a long form video on the whole build project when I'm finished with that. But as I say, with wanting to catch up to where I'm at now, rather than to almost like fake create shorts from what was happening weeks ago, I'm going to use a longer form video to just catch up to where I'm at now. Obviously there'll be 2 other projects as well that I've done before I came to the point of even thinking about setting up this channel. And I'm going to try and do those prior projects, like kind of project 2 over there, 1 per week. So actually that should kind of catch us up in just a few weeks' time, so that I'm really able to focus a bit more on where I'm at now. Given my health still a little bit iffy, the catching up more on the video stuff now is not a bad thing to be doing anyway. But we got lots of sort of plans for kind of moving forwards. Where I'm at with some of that's worth talking about. I mentioned these bearings for putting together a kind of jig, a painting jig before, and actually when the pipe turned up, I just got on with putting it through and tightening up the grub screws because it was really easy to do. But if you hadn't been clear about what I'm talking about, so this will mount so that I'll have an attachment here that bolts into the neck pocket of the guitar and allows you to turn that so that you can actually paint or wood stain or oil all of the surfaces of the guitar without having to carefully try and handle it without handling it. In the past, what I've done is kind of a bolt-in bit that I've then kind of held, and a couple of bits to stop it resting on the table or what have you when it's drying. But the idea is to create this as a more permanent solution. As I said last time though, I mean, I put that through because it was really easy, but it's probably going to be when one of these needs wood staining and oiling that actually I finally get around to assembling it. I'm pretty sure I've got everything that I need to make that happen now. What else have I got going on? So, pickups. Okay, I mentioned last time that I decided I'm going to have a go at creating pickups as well. I've ordered myself a pickup winder. It's coming from China. It'll be mid-August before it gets here at the earliest. I've picked up a couple of the kind of build yourself a pickup kit, in the sense where it comes with the flatwork and the pole pieces and magnets and those sorts of things and covers. Not because that's what I want to be using. Part of the reason I'm wanting to do this is to shape the tone, and part of the reason I'm wanting to do this is so that I can then use part of the reason I'm making my own bodies is because there's some beautiful woods out there and some beautiful techniques that actually I really want to experiment with. Making matching pickups really appeals to me. Not necessarily for every build, but I think there's a lot of them, like this one here, where I've deliberately kept a part of the wood of this that I kind of, was cutting out to create this guitar, because I want to create pickups and use this mixture of that spalted wood and the Wenger and the Purple Heart, because I think that will look gorgeous on top of a pickup. Yeah. So that's ordered. I've got some kits so that I can start experimenting with it. But the big thing that I had to face if I'm going to do that is that I'm not going to be in a position to just start winding pickups and chucking them in things and have real confidence that they'll sound good. I'm going to have to do a fair bit of experimentation. So the other thing that I've done is order myself a kind of partly complete body, because I need to make myself a test bed, really. I need to make myself a guitar where I route out a big channel in the middle so that I can experiment with, as well as winding pickups, actually where I place them. It allows me then, with that as my kind of consistent test bed, to check different things like how different wire gauges and windings and magnets affect that tone, not just in the theoretical sense, because I've kind of got that already from having done some reading, but exactly what does it sound like, particularly when you're starting to put that together with other things. For basses, actually you're tending to look at hotter windings than an average guitar pickup. I'm tempted to really heavily overwind something and then see what does that sound like with what's normally quite a harsh magnet, ceramic magnet or Alnico 8 or something in it, and actually compare that to something that's more medium round, those sorts of things. I may well be talking about stuff there that means absolutely nothing to you. So the other thing I need to get on and film at some point is a part one of just pickups and actually a guide to where my understanding is at the moment, because I'm sure that's going to grow and develop as things go on. So yeah, actually building that test bed is something that I'm going to need to do in the next few weeks as well. It occurred to me that one of the things that was probably worth mentioning here as well is that I want to head towards a point where I can completely build a guitar. So I started in that first project, putting something together from pieces. As I said at the time, not in the sense of a kit where everything is already made to go together, because I wanted, even with that first one, to actually experiment with really building something. But then having moved on to the point I'm at now of kind of building bodies just from the original wood. Similarly, there are two elements there that I also want to do. One of them being pickups, the other one being necks. At the moment, I kind of buy in necks for projects and actually use them. I set up necks, I can refret, I can polish, I can do all of that sort of stuff, but I don't build them from the beginning. That's something else that I want to learn to do, and actually that was kind of going to be my next step in terms of trying something that I hadn't tried before after getting these together from their bodies. But to be honest, I think as far as shaping tone and creating something that really sounds how I want it to sound, it actually felt like the pickups were going to gain me more. So they moved up my little checklist, and at some point I'll get around to learning to build necks as well. So, but that's likely to be a few months away. As I say, I kind of really want to concentrate on doing what I'm doing at the moment well and developing a new skill in a systematic way, you know. I've always tried to do that, you know. My wife sometimes is highly entertained by the way that I do things there. There was some leatherworking stuff that I did a little while back where I'd actually kind of, you know, cut out of this leather about 5 different strips, and then I was looking at it was leather finishes, you know, dyed them all the same, engraved them all the same, etc., apart from just a different number on each, and then used different leather dressings on each and see how that comes out. Similarly, I'm going to do quite a lot of A/B testing with different pickups and different configurations and a whole range of things there to really get what I want. Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm going to enjoy it. What else have I got going on? Oh, just 2 other things. One, I had a really crappy cheap set of nut files that I started off with because I didn't know if I was going to get into this. So it's very exciting that I now have a set of Music Nomad nut files having turned up. My wife, not knowing what nut files were, was slightly worried about what I was talking about when these arrived. But yeah, I think these will be much easier to get a good, clean, even cut. So I'm quite looking forward to using those. Come with this lovely little box as well. So that's what those ones look like. I will do a review on these when I get around to using them. But that, to be honest, I mean, I might do a setup on one of my existing guitars just to re-practice it. But it's most likely to be when I put nuts in these that I kind of get round to using that. And the other thing that I had turn up is a couple of pickguards. This is just a fairly plain anodised aluminium. It's kind of got brushed finish on it. Obviously tele pickguard and strap pickguard with 2 humbucker spaces in it. These are really kind of these were lovely and cheap as well, you know, they were fairly slow coming from China. Obviously, the idea of engraving bodies is something that I think worked here and I really want to explore further, but I'm also interested on a planar body to experiment with engraving pickguards as well. I did some business cards for something else that I'm involved in, and was surprised just how easy that was in many ways, you know, and how well a CO2 laser can engrave through a colour down to the metal. CO2 laser won't cut metal, it's the wrong wavelength for that, but actually it engraves dark colours on metal really, really well. So I'm thinking that this with silver engraving is what it's going to come through as. Could look really interesting and allow that to be, again, something that we can explore further in the future. So that's where I'm at this Monday. I hope you're all doing well and hope to see you soon. Bye.